Views expressed here are not supported by and do not reflect those of the Evening Rush Network. Viewers' discretion is advised.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Live by the Three Sports Podcast. Coach Matt, my main man Tyler. What's going on, T? How you been, man? It's been a little while since we jumped on the live. How you been?
I'm good. How you been? I ain't see you since COVID, man. How's everything?
Has it been that long?
Oh,
well,
I'm
doing all right, man. Season's over, so trying to recharge the battery a little bit and regroup, get ready for next year, but still got some recruiting and stuff we got to do. But glad to be back here on you after a little hiatus with some technical issues, but we're back at it, man. And football season is over, and it's almost pretty much strictly basketball, right? So so looking forward to that and jumping into that. But why don't you tell the people where they can catch us on social media and follow and get the show?
You can catch us on all streaming networks: Amazon Fire Stick, Pandora, Spotify, anywhere they stream. You can catch us. You can hit us on Instagram at Live by the Three Sports Podcast.
Yep, please do. Please like and subscribe to the Evening Rush Network and download the app, the Evening Rush Network app. You can find it on all mobile platforms, Apple, Google, all of the different Apple platforms. You can download the app and get all the great programming on the network, music, different shows, different programming. So find something else that you like besides sports on the show, and please support the other shows on the channel with a lot of great content. So let's it's been a little while, man. So we got some catching up to do, and wanted to get your input on this from, as a former college athlete. There's been some, I don't want to say disturbing, but there's been a lot of stuff going on with some of these guys, and it's never fortunate regardless of who is involved, but it's been a lot of high profile guys in college getting in some serious trouble lately, and some stuff coming to head. And it's a little bit of I hope it's not a trend, but it's been a little bit disturbing. So you had at Alabama, you had an unfortunate situation earlier in the year where you had a player that was on the men's basketball team. His name was Darius Miles, and he got into a situation somewhere around campus where a young lady, I believe she was a student, but I'm not 100% sure, but a young lady was killed at somewhere, close to campus or in the area. And the police do an investigation. They're looking for the guy. They end up arresting him and everything. And, I believe charging him and somebody else with the death. And then some time passes. So obviously that's a tragic situation. He was dismissed from the basketball team. There was a lot of different things going on. And then it comes to light that one of another member of the team, Brandon Miller, who is a really talented player, they're talking about, he could be a lottery pick. In this upcoming draft. Alabama's having a great year, really good season. They're dominating. They've been in the top 5 pretty much the whole season, and kid with a really bright future. And again, that doesn't change anything just because he's a good basketball player, but apparently he brought the gun to the guy. He brought basically the weapon that was used to kill somebody to somebody, to the people that pulled the trigger. And it's just like, wow, like, I don't know, it's a crazy story, to begin with, and the loss of life is just tragic, right? On a lot of different levels. Mm-hmm. So then you have that. And then also earlier in the year at the University of Georgia, a football player, where they had an incident where 2 people got killed in a car accident. One of them was a staffer, and another one, I believe, was a player as well.
Was a prospect? Was he a prospect?
Well, I'm not sure if the player that got killed was, he believed he was on the team. And then they had a staffer who helped out. I don't know if she helped out the coaching staff or operations or training, whatever. But another staffer that was a student also was killed in a car crash. And then the person that was driving was a young man named Jalen Carter, who is, again, a really good player. They're talking about he could be a first-round pick. The NFL Combine is going on right now, and he actually had to go back home during the Combine. He's out in the Combine getting interviewed, doing all the testing and doing all of that, and actually had to leave the Combine to go back to Georgia to turn himself in on the charges that of reckless driving. I think they might be trying to slap a DUI on him. He wasn't at the scene when the paramedics came. I think he had left and then came back. Again, I don't know all the details, so I don't want to say anything that's not necessarily true. But just from reports, he left the scene, then came back, and then there was investigations. He played the season, right? Just like the kid Miller, not the guy who pulled the trigger at Alabama basketball, but the guy who brought the gun continued to play. The football player continued to play, and then he had to turn himself in while he's at the Combine, which obviously is not a good look for him. But it's but two people lost their lives, so it's like it's a really tragic situation all around, and I just don't. I have a hard time. The car thing makes a little bit. It doesn't make sense to me, but I sort of see how that happens on a college.
It was speed race, drag racing, right?
Yeah, that's the I guess the speculation now is that there's maybe it's a long strip and maybe it has a history of people, students maybe, or just other people from the area drag racing on that strip. But he had two people in the car, loses control, two people get killed. And then you have the other situation where it's just, allegedly it stemmed from a party, and a gun gets brought because of some beef. And it's just, I don't know. What are your thoughts on the whole situation to begin with, and then how it's been handled and going forward?
Well, the Miller situation was a little interesting because I think in Alabama you can carry a concealed weapon without a permit.
Right.
So allegedly, what did they say? They said that the gun he was on his way somewhere else. He was on his way to him while the gun was in the car.
Right.
And went off.
Yeah. And then
minutes afterwards. And I think it was over something with a girl. Dude tried to talk to the girl, whatever. She turned down. I know it was a lot of speculation, a lot of uproar as to why he was playing.
Right, while this was going on.
Carolina. While I was following the story, it came out that this happened 5 weeks ago.
Right.
Before the game. So it was like, how long do you keep somebody out if everybody did their due diligence?
Right.
So it's just like it made me just realize like how the media could spin certain things without full information.
Right.
Like they just figured out this happened. If I didn't know no better, well, I really didn't. I thought it happened. I didn't know it happened.
Right. Now it happened a while back. Right.
And they dealt with it.
Well, I think part of it is when the I don't know if the trial's going on, but discovery, whatever, the information was coming out about the other player that got kicked off the team because he actually pulled the trigger. They said that, or he was with the person that pulled the trigger. I guess they discovered some text messages where he asked the kid Brandon Miller, "Hey, I got a problem. Bring this, bring it to me." So I think, initially they didn't know that the kid Miller was involved. And then through discovery, they discovered these text messages and they were like, oh, wow, this other kid actually is the one that brought the gun to him that was used. Maybe it wasn't necessarily his gun, but I don't know if they were roommates or just knew where it was at, so that's one piece. And I get it. In this country, you have different gun laws, different places, but we both went to college, and this is actually interesting now that we're talking about this because I went to school in Massachusetts, right? But you actually went to college down south. So my first thought is like, I went to college and we had parties and we got into stuff and there was fights and all of that. There were no guns involved, like you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like this, it's so like you're in college, man. Like you know what I'm saying? This is other college kids, or even if it's people from the neighborhood, but there was no guns involved. Like you know what I mean? If you got into a fight, it was a fight. There was no guns anywhere, But you went to college down south in South Carolina, so it's a different dynamic. So was that a thing when you were in college where people
Nah, it wasn't. Nah, it was never no guns and nothing like that. I mean,
Yeah.
if you had a fight with the football team, if you had
Right, exactly. Exactly.
fraternity, I just had a fight.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, "Yo, I'm gonna go get the gun." Like, but I don't know why they have such easy access to that. I mean, I guess the level that they play in, where they from, you know, you can get whatever you want. But just the fact that they have so much access to it, and that's your first go to, it's like,
Right. But then it's I don't get that.
there's no like, what do you need a gun for? Why am I bringing you a gun?
Exactly.
Like, ain't nothing good going to come out of me bringing you a gun.
And that's the thing I don't understand. Like, y'all are in college, man. Like, what like okay, yes, the gun laws in Alabama are different, all of that, cool. But why like you said, why is that even a thing? You're a college student, number one. You're playing basketball, number two. Where does a gun come into any like what are you involved? Like, why do you have a gun? I don't get it.
How you have access to a gun?
Yeah.
So easy where it could be like, yo.
Yeah, go get it. Yeah, you know where it's not even mine, but you know where it is. Like,
yo,
that's
I don't
crazy.
got no sneakers. Give me a pair of sneakers. Like, how do you have
Right, exactly right. It was that. Yeah, because even if you read the text messages, it was almost kind of like that. Like, yeah, I forgot my sneak. Like, yeah, you know where them Jordans are in my closet. Can you go grab them for me? It was the same sort of like just easy conversation. Like, yeah, can you go get that for me? Because I got a problem over here. And dude knew right where to go get it. And and I'm just like, what are y'all into? What are y'all doing, man? Y'all got class, you got practice, you got games. What are y'all doing with the? You know what I mean? I don't get it.
I've had people be like, yo, T, yo, you got any problem? Yo, just call me.
Of course.
And I'm like, no, I'm not calling you.
Yeah, of course. That's
bro.
And now it's
good gonna come out of that.
Like, come on, man. What are y'all doing? You know what I mean? And then I even forgot about a situation at New Mexico State where they had, a very eerily similar situation where, allegedly there was a beef, and one of the basketball players, had a gun and shot somebody and might have killed him. And then he, they were on the road or he shot somebody and they went on a road trip, and then he knew the cops were probably looking for him, and he gave the gun to an assistant coach and all of this stuff like that. I'm just reading this stuff. I'm just like, yo, what are y'all into, man? Like, what are y'all doing? You know what I mean? Like, I don't get it. And you know what I mean? Like, yo, just go to class, go to the training room, go to practice, go to some parties Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. If you're playing football, you're not going to a party Friday night, right? Okay. But still, like, what are y'all doing? And is it not just good enough just to go to school and play sports anymore? Like, you got to be involved in all this other stuff.
That's how you get your I don't know. That's how you get your little, your stripes.
Yes, but see, and again, that's the change, right? That's the change, because that's what gets you your stripes, allegedly. But I always felt like there was a separation. It was like, okay, the people that was into that, that's what they were into. The people that went to school, the people that played ball, the people, that's what they were into. And then there wasn't much mixing going on. And the people that did get down like that would let you know, no, you're not getting involved in this. This is what I do. This is what you do. You stay over here. You do your thing. You go to school. You go to class. And the street stuff, that stays over here. And we don't want you anywhere near that. And it seems like the more high profile these guys get. And if you look at some of the backgrounds of these kids, and again, not to be stereotypical, like, these are not like, they're not street kids. You know what I mean? Like, they're just not. So it's just like, again, why are you getting involved in this stuff? I just don't understand it. What's that?
Maybe it's the elders.
Yeah.
I know back in the day, they was like, yo, you stay away from this.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's just like, I guess the young people are policing themselves. But just, I think dude is like projected top 5 pick.
Yeah.
Do you understand, like,
and
what you doing?
And right. And so there's that aspect of it too, right? Like, okay, I get it, right? It's your boy, and that's your friend, and you don't want to see anything happen to him and all of that. But number one, I look at it a couple of different ways. The guy that asked Brandon Miller to go get it, that might be your friend, and maybe he was scared, whatever the case is. But if you're really looking out for him, do you tell him to go get it for you? Like that, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the part that messes me up a little bit. Like, that's your man, right? Okay, you might be scared and you want your man to help you, but if you're really, if on the flip side, if that's your man, why would you ask him to do that for you?
Because if I would assume that based on what you said, that's for someone that's thinking reasonably. You know what I'm saying? If you asking for a gun, you ain't even rationalizing that type of shit.
That's
you
true.
already on some other level, and maybe we don't even know the dynamics of the relationship. Like that might
Right.
be son. You know what I'm saying? Like he might be like, "Yo, give me this," and he might like, I got to do this. I'm, maybe freshman, he's a former player. I look up to him.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. I got to give it to him because shit, maybe he might use it on me. You don't know what the hell that dynamic is. You know what I'm saying? But it's just unfortunate that it's just someone lost their life just because someone could handle rejection.
Right, exactly, right, and everybody's lives ruined. Obviously, first and foremost, the victim's life is ruined. You have another kid who, again, he's not a lottery pick, but he's a scholarship basketball player in college. You know what I mean? Like not, you know what I mean? You're in college. You're supposed to be trying to better yourself. So even if you're not going to end up being an NBA player or whatever the case is, okay, but you're getting an education. You're getting paid for. You're on a college campuses. You got parties. You have all of these supports and things that you can do and just live your life a certain way, and then it just turns left into something that has, even again, like, okay, yeah, you can get into a fight when you're in college. It happens to everybody, but why, this other level, I don't get it. And then the coach, obviously the coach is being criticized in administration. They're saying the Alabama president, he's not saying a word about it. He's not taking any media, but I guess he's looking at it like, hey man, we got a chance to go to the Final Four. Maybe it's the first time it ever happened. This kid's a lottery pick. We got to, and I get, and again, due process. And if the gun laws like that are like that in Alabama, where technically what he did isn't against the law, I mean, I guess, there's not much you can do about it, but it's just, but somebody lost their life. You know what I mean? It is, I don't know. It's just a wild situation that I can't comprehend it on a lot of different levels. And then you have the other situation with the, and if I'm not mistaken, this incident happened with the Georgia football. That happened during the season or right at the beginning of the season. And, again, that kid's a really good player. And he, they're talking about him, being a first round draft pick, one of the better defensive players in the country. Georgia wins the national championship 2 years in a row. So, and he was a big part of that. And again, you're living your dream, right? You're going to the NFL combine, you're about to get drafted, interviews and all of that. And then you get called home to turn yourself in for, not for murder, not for, I don't think he's being charged with that, right? I guess at least for now, it's on the level of, yes, it was an accident, but you were speeding or whatever. So if I'm not mistaken, when I read, I think they said it might be some misdemeanors and not even felonies. So, which is, again, 2 people lost their lives. It's a tragedy. And, that one, I can't say I understand it. It's a young, stupid college kid thing. You're driving fast, you're racing, you're 20 years old, 21 years old. Your decision-making isn't fully formed. So,
You know what the vehicles were?
I thought it was SUVs, right?
Yeah, a Jeep Cherokee and a Ford Expedition.
Which everybody should know by now. Those things flip really easily.
What?
Everybody's right. By now, everyone knows that. That those things flip over really easily. So it's
Well, it was after they celebrated their win.
Yeah, right. It was because it was early in this. It wasn't during the championship, right? It was earlier in the season.
No, it said it was after. It says hours after. The crash occurred just after the Bulldogs celebrated their second straight national championship.
Oh, it was at the end of the season. Okay, all right. Yeah, and then the stat, a staffer loses their life, another player, and then I'm assuming he's a decent person, and you got that going on, you got that on your, your conscience for the rest of your life, that something that you were involved in, cost 2 people their lives, and then the families of the people that lost their lives got to deal with that, and but then even for him, right? You have now Well, let me ask you this. Do you think, based on the circumstances of what actually happened, do you think these two kids, it will affect their draft status, the Brandon Miller and uh I'm sorry, what I'm forgetting this kid's name from
Jalen Carter?
Jalen Carter. Do you think that it'll affect their draft status?
Nah.
Hmm. Yeah. Now, obviously, they're talents, and both of them weren't necessarily complicit. Like you said, one doesn't look like he's going to be charged at all, Miller, because they said I guess it's not a felony to bring the gun, even though it was involved in a homicide, or whether they say it was self-defense, whatever the case is. I'm not sure about the details of that. And then this guy's responsible for that. You think teams will, okay, so you don't think that it'll affect their draft status, okay? So we're just going to go off the talent and the business aspect of it. Do you think that it should? And not as a punishment.
Morally or
strictly business. Can you trust this person that has shown poor decision-making skills when they're young, right? They're college kids, but they're still going to be young when you draft them. Brandon Miller's going to go, he's going to be 19 or 8, whatever he is, he's going to be that age when you draft him. The kid from Georgia, he's going to be that age when you draft him. And you're going to draft them high even not from a morals is what it is, but just from a business standpoint, can you trust them to not make poor decisions now that they're going to be in your organization?
I don't know if you can trust them, but I think it's what has a bigger upside. You know what I'm saying? What has a bigger upside? Because let's look at John Morant. He's been in the news.
Let's talk about
he's been in the news, but it's like they dealing with it.
So you brought that up. And it's, to me, it's all the same thing. It's the same theme. And he's older than these guys. What are you doing now? Again, okay.
That might be who he is, though, as a person.
But
he just happened to play basketball.
But there's two situations that they're talking about now, and then I didn't even realize that they say he's got some other things that have been going on. But it's like the two situations that they're talking about now. One is a security guard at a mall said something to your mom, and then that you whatever, she comes back and tells you, you show up, you're Jama, and it's your mom. I get it, all of that. But you're going to go at a security guard that said something to your mom that you don't like. You're John Morant. You got a Nike contract. You play for the Memphis Grizzlies. You're one of the faces of the league. You think nobody ever said anything to Michael Jordan's mom that wasn't, like or just whatever. Like I don't understand. Like what are y'all doing?
The flip side is, how do I let somebody just disrespect my mom's like that and I don't do nothing?
How about you have your lawyer call the mall and say
about if you are, you know what baseline behavior is? When you at zero, we're not talking about somebody. All right, look at it like this. For someone, the way that he plays, with the reckless abandon, he has no fear. So you asking someone that has no fear to think rationally when he's met with a conflict. That's hard to do.
But what's the conflict? A security guard said, did he put his hands on her?
It's a threat. Now I gotta respond. If I don't respond, I can't let them think I'm soft.
But are we assuming that the security guard knew that it was John Morant? Like that?
Don't
that's
matter.
what
Don't matter.
Going with this.
It don't matter if you thought it was. It happened. You just. I'm John Morant.
But I like John Morant, and it's just like, what are you doing? Seriously, like, and that's the thing. These dudes got all these entourages, and like that's the thing too. Is just the other story that they're talking about is they're saying that he had a pickup game at his house. The pickup game at his house. I guess he has a basketball court at his house. A 17-year-old kid. They get into it. They're arguing. Number one, you're an NBA player. You got people at your house, y'all are playing. Cool. You get into it, trash talk, whatever the case, whatever happens, you're at your house. I'm pretty sure you live in a gated community. I'm pretty sure, and you got all of, all your homies and all of that. And then he gets into it with a 17-year-old kid and then pulls out a hammer and starts waving at it. Like,
Yo, but listen,
bro,
John,
like, what are you doing?
he's only 23 years old. He's
Let me ask.
23.
So why do you so why do you have all these people around you then?
He's only 23 years old.
No, I'm saying, why do you have if you have all of these people around you, whether you're paying them or they're your boys and all of that, they're supposed to be insulating you from this. So you have a problem with somebody, why are they there then? They should handle it. That's why you have people around you. That's why you hire security. That's why you pay people to be your entourage or whatever you want to call it. That's what they're there for. They handle stuff.
Is he acting any different than an average New York 23-year-old?
But he's not, and that's the thing. If you're rolling solo, like to me, this is how I look at it. If you're rolling solo, okay, like pick a lane. If you're gonna ride solo, then okay, that doesn't make it right for you to act out on these things. But then it's like, okay, whatever. What is the point of having all of these people around you? What is the point of paying these people? What is the point of having these people live in your guest house? Extra bedrooms, whatever, and they're around, they're driving you here, they got guns on. What is the point of having these people around and paying them if you're the one that's going to end up doing everything anyway?
Just stroke my ego.
Then you might as well save your money then. Now I'm not counting his money, he could do whatever he wants with it. I'm just saying, like, to me, it's like, why do you have all these people around? It's just, to me, it just seems like all they're doing is just gassing you up. They're not protecting you. But they're not protecting you. That's what they're supposed to be there for. That's what it's like. You're hiring security or you got your people around you. They're supposed to be protecting you. To me, look, that used to be the deal.
Allegedly, his people, they had some beef with the Pistons. They on the bus. Allegedly, infrared dots is in Detroit. Like,
right, like that. Come on, man. Like
you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
Listen. These young boys,
he's 23 years. There's people still in college. Like, what school was it? Damn, there was a college. It was a Big East school. Was it Pitt? One of them schools where they started 5 average is 23 years old.
Right. Yeah. The older guys. Yeah.
23. Like, what do you expect? 23 with money on top of the world, and he's an all-star. What do you expect?
And that's the other thing I don't get. Now, maybe they feel like nothing is going to happen because even from a self-preservation situation for them, if you're part of this whole machine with Ja Morant, don't you? And again, they might be from a certain neighborhood and maybe they don't think clearly, whatever. But shouldn't they also be looking after the machine? Also, we getting Nike money, we getting contract, we're getting all of this. This is how I'm benefiting from all of this. Mm-hmm. So shouldn't they be looking out for it? Like, yo, I gotta protect this because if some go left and my man gets locked up, all of this is gone. I'm out. The house is gone.
They probably ain't thinking like that. Yo, this happened. I got you. Make this happen. Make that happen. This money ain't going nowhere.
But y'all clearly not on the streets. Y'all playing at a basketball.
They don't know that though. They think they on the
playing at a basketball game in his house.
They protecting their investment.
But they're not. But they're not though, Ty. They're not.
No,
that's the thing that, you know what I mean. It's just poor decision making all around. I mean, obviously that's the common denominator. We know these guys are young. I get it. But even Ja Morant, why are you handling a gun? What if it goes like that's the thing? You're Ja Morant, and that's who. Okay, and you waving it around. What happens if it goes off? Like that's. And I get it. People don't think like that in the moment, but it's like, come on, man. Like what?
Yo, but like look at Plexico's shit.
Yeah,
his full joint messed up. You know how the gun? Do you know how the gun went off?
It was in his waistband and it slipped and he went to grab it and it went off, right? Something like that.
He missed a step.
Right. Yeah, he went. Yeah, he was walking.
Not like he was trying to do anything.
Right. And then it slipped, and I think he skipped a step.
And it went off.
Right, and he went to grab it because it was sliding down his leg, and it went off. Yeah, like so. Okay, yeah. He's from that situation. From what I remember,
he did jail time. He was done.
Right, because he was in New York. But from what I remember, he was by himself. He had it on him because he might be thinking, okay, I'm Plaxico. I'm trying to go to the club. Dudes might try to stick me. So I got, okay, that is somewhat of a, again, is a crazy situation. Now he could have hired security. It's just like, like even these guys, like, I don't want to name names, but there was a coach that got a DUI, not too long ago, and it's just like, yo, my man, like you got money, call a Uber. You know what I mean? Now those dudes are a little older, but it's just like, come on, man, like I don't get it sometimes. Like, what are y'all doing?
Because you don't think it's gonna happen. You don't think you're gonna get caught. Yo, listen, one time I was like, yo, listen, I need to stop drinking and driving. I'm not doing that shit no more. Boom, 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 boom. The day I stopped, I got stopped by the cops. I was like, oh, I'm glad I stopped because I'd have been finished. He had me outside doing all wild tests. I was like, I was like, I'm glad I stopped because he'd have had me, I'd have been done. People don't think that, it can happen to you. That's why people do things that it ain't going to happen to me.
I guess.
And if it does, I'm the machine. They're going to protect. Somebody's going to bail me out.
Yeah, I don't get it, man. So, so we'll take a break. We'll go to halftime and we'll catch up on the NBA stuff and what's been going on over there. But a lot of these dudes got to act a little smarter, man. Like, I get it. They're young. They're young, and it just seems like, obviously social media hypes it up and more stuff comes out and the information is more readily available. But all this gunplay and all of that with these college kids, man, it's just like, yo, man, just go to a party on campus and have
but this ain't nothing new though.
The bad decision making is not new, but just the levels of what they're doing, to me, it seems a little elevated, like with the guns and all of that. Like I said, it's just, you're on a college campus, man. Like, just leave.
Yeah,
I don't know, but we'll take a break and we'll come back and catch up on the NBA on Live by the 3 Sports podcast on the Evening Rush Network.
Let's do it.
Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your girl, Chrissy, here to let you know that the Evening Rush Network now has an app. Yes, an app, you guys, so you can stay connected on the go and watch all your favorite podcast shows. You can download the app at Google Play Store or Apple iTunes. So spread the word. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Also, if you're looking to start a podcast and really don't know how, well, hit us up at the Evening Rush Network at gmail.com and inquire about time slots, pricings, and everything you may need to get started. We got you. Join the winning team, the Evening Rush Network. And also, download that app. What are you waiting for? Get to it.
All right, we're back. Coach Matt and Tyler on Live by the 3 Sports podcast. Talked about some poor decision making. Let's go to the comments. My main man G says, facts, especially as a high major Division I athlete, to risk your career like that is something I'll never understand. I mean, to me, that's definitely the truth. Now you could always go back to the base level of just as any human being, like, why risk your career and your future over something like, like you said, Ty, like, you got dissed at a party by a girl, and regardless of whether you're a high Division I major, high major player or not, like, you get dissed at a party, you bring a gun back. That's behavior that doesn't make any sense, but it does make it a little bit less understandable maybe when it's, you have a lot of stuff going on the line. My main man Ox, and there's no more big homies at the playgrounds anymore. That's a very good point. You got a lot of people that are, enabling these guys and not telling them the real thing, just telling them what they want to hear. But then that also goes back to the decision making. And, now, right, even if we want to just expand on that Ja Morant situation a little bit more, you could go by the whole trope of, single parent home and, no male role models in the round. And that's why X, Y, and Z happens, which I don't subscribe to. But, okay, but his pops is at every game. Mm-hmm. His Bob's is around, his little sister's around. So, what's the excuse now of why he doesn't know, how to move and how to react to situations and how to be smart? You know what I mean? Like, so what's the excuse now? You know what I mean? Like, that's the, I don't get that. So he has a big homie and it's his own father. So
he might be getting guidance. He just might not might either getting the proper guidance or might just be ignoring it.
Yeah. So, the better option would have been to ask for a ride away from that situation, but not everyone has the best rationale when they're upset. That's true. I get it.
Pride is a motherfucker, yo. When a female is pride, boy.
But see, even that though, like, again, we all went to college. You can pick what parties and what environment that you go to. You know what I mean? And like you said, like, okay, yeah, you might go to a frat party and get into it with the frat brothers, or you might go to a party and get into it with the football team, but it's still going to be on a level. It seems to me like these guys are putting themselves in situations with other people that get down, so they feel like, okay, well, I got to rise to the occasion. Like, if you go to a frat party and a girl disses you, there's no guns coming out. You go to a party with the football team, more than likely, and something happens, more than likely guns. So these guys are choosing to put themselves in this environment with people who are getting down like that. Why? You're in college. You're in a college town, huge college town. There's gazillions of parties that you could go to when this, where this is not going to be a part of what the deal is. You know what I mean? Like that.
Different time, man. I just think it's a different time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe they need to carry guns now. I have no idea.
That's true. Yeah. I
listen.
I start.
It's like I don't have to, listen. Real music. We didn't have that shit in college.
That's true. Yeah.
It's a different time. Maybe they need that. Like we didn't need to carry. What you carrying guns for? We knew people who would carry the guns.
Sure.
But you wouldn't need to carry. What you carrying guns for? You just
what? I'm just going to shake. I'm just going to shake my ass to try to get some numbers.
Yo, I was in school. The ratio was 19-1. You don't want to talk to me? Cool.
Yeah.
There's 19 other joints that I could get.
I don't listen, man.
You know what I'm saying? So it's out.
I don't know, man. Yeah, that's my man. Actually, there has to be a better way for him to handle these situations. He's not the average 23-year-old. You're right, and and then again, that's the to me, that's the piece that's the most disappointing, is that these guys don't have people around them that are trying to protect them. They got people around them, but the people that are around them are not trying to protect them from this stuff. That's the part that bothers me.
Yeah, but he's not the average 23-year-old physically, athletically. But we talking about everything we're talking about is mentally.
That's true. But
he might not even be 23-year-old mentally.
But my thing is, if you got people they should know that about you. Like, yo, Ja's a hot head.
But who's gonna say something to somebody that's making 200 million, 100 million, and I'm supporting you, supporting your family, you on my payroll? What are you gonna tell me? Yo, Ja, you bugging, you shouldn't do that. Because then you know what, man, fuck you. What do you mean I shouldn't do that? All right, boom, you cut off. Ain't nobody trying to mess with their money train.
Yes, I mean that's that everything you just said. I
know. Listen, I ain't gonna throw no names out there, but I know it's a certain player that surrounds himself with certain people, and people can't really say certain things to him because they cut him off.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people ain't doing that. They know where their bread is buttered at. They're gonna be like, yo, Ja, you bugging, you shouldn't do that. Yo, Ja, we did this. Yeah. Because they want to stay in his good graces to keep the shit forward. Why do I want to work in Walmart or work in Citibank when I can chill with him and I'm good?
I mean, I listen, I hope for everybody it ends up working out that way. My thing is, I'm looking at it and saying that I hear all that, but if they say, all right, listen, if the commissioner comes down now, is the commissioner going to kick Ja Morant out the league? I'm not going to go that far, but I'm just saying, like, but my thing is, like, yeah, for this situation, maybe not. But if that gun had went off that he was waving at that 17-year-old, your ass might be out the league. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I'm looking at it. Like, yeah, it's all okay. It didn't go off this time. What's that?
Yeah, but his talent will afford him the chance to redeem himself.
Okay.
Somebody will take a chance on Ja Morant.
Well, I'm saying you think the NBA, if Ja Morant is waving a gun and a 17-year-old gets hit, you don't think that would get him out the league? And I'm not talking about.
Okay, let's just devil's advocate. He's 23 years old.
Yep.
He'll take 3 years out the league. He'll come back 26, 27. He's not even in his prime yet.
You think they would let him back? I'm not talking about individual teams. I'm talking about at the NBA level. Like, you don't think that?
Come on. First of all, it's money. It ain't popping in Memphis. He got it popping.
He does, but
you know what it is, man. Come on, man.
I know. I hear all that. I'm just saying. No, I'm saying it changes if the gun goes off and a 17-year-old gets hit. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's a whole different.
Look, Ray Lewis allegedly killed someone. He still played.
That's yeah.
I'm just saying.
Okay. All right. Let me get off my high horse. Let's
well, but listen, there's levels to this though.
There is.
There's
I get
levels.
it. You know what I'm saying?
When you
Well,
get to a certain level, there's a lot more room you can mess up.
I guess, you know what I mean? Like, cause just, you know, we go back to what was it, Javaris Crittenton and Gilbert with, you know, with the guns in the locker room and the card game. But again, the gun didn't go off though. You know what I mean? But then Javaris ended up getting a murder charge,
now,
right?
they playing with guns like that at that age.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about somebody 23, 20 years old in this generation. They kill niggas for nothing.
But I don't even.
I mean, we old heads, so it's like we don't get it. But the reality, I mean, you coach young men.
Yeah, and
you know the mentality.
Yeah, but I go to sleep every night praying that my dudes they do it, you know, waving no guns around. You know what I mean? Like, they get into silly stuff. You know what I mean? But I'll take some of the stuff they do over, you know, waving guns around. You know.
Now, would you take a John Morant tap? I know you're going to say you're going to give me the politically correct answer.
You can ask the question.
Throw it out there anyway. Would you take a John Morant type talent player with all the baggage that he has right now? Would you take a player like that next year in your program?
No. Mm-mm. Now you talking about relative? You talking about the John Morant as far as like,
you know what I'm talking about?
No, I'm saying top five.
You know exactly what
I'm saying. I'm saying you're saying the exact. No, I'm asking you. No, I'm saying you're saying you're saying the exact same thing. A top 5 NBA talent on my team right now is what you're asking me.
With all the baggage.
See, the easy answer is to say no. The easy answer is to say yes, but it's just like how can I trust? Like, my thing is like, how can I trust you? Like, that's the thing. And not even forget about basketball and all that. How do I know you're not just gonna pop somebody in the dorm? How you know what I'm saying? Like how do I know that?
What if it can propel you to St. Peter's?
But again, here's the problem with me, Ty, and I go to therapy for this thing. So, this is the problem with me. I have like I don't know if I would use the word neurotic, but like I overthink things a lot, and my mind goes to the worst case scenario first. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's just the way my mind works. So the scenario that you're laying out to me, it's hard for me to look at it and say, oh yeah, if I have John Morant on my team, I'm gonna win a national championship. My mind immediately goes to, he's gonna do something crazy and I'm gonna be out of a job. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard for me, like me personally, to look at it from the best case scenario of, yeah, I'm gonna take this dude and we just gonna make a crazy run and win a national championship. It's all gonna be gravy. The paranoia in my mind goes to, this dude gonna pull a gun out on somebody and shoot him, and I'm gonna be out of a job and I can't support my family. So that's why it's hard. You know, me personally, it's hard for me to roll the dice on it because my mind just immediately is gonna go to the worst case scenario.
So you would pass? I
probably would, just because it's like
knowing that he's going to be in your conference if you pass.
And unfortunately, the way my luck goes, he'll go to another school and nothing will happen. He come to me, we could be the night before the championship game. Then he gonna let that hammer off and say, and it's just it's just not gonna work.
Let's play with that. John Morant talent comes through. You like, you know what? Nah, I don't want that. He goes to one of your rivals. He does nothing happens. Now another John Morant talent comes along a couple years later.
That's
which
the
you bite.
That's the problem.
Which you bite though.
Again, I know you think it's me being political, but it's really not. It's really just the way my mind works, more so as far as I don't personally believe it's going to work out because I think something's going to happen. You know what I mean? I'm a glass. And it's something I'm working on. Full transparency, something I'm working on. I'm trying to be more of a glass half full guy as opposed to a glass half empty guy. Because my mind immediately goes to the worst case scenario. This dude gonna come here he gonna pull it. The professor gonna say something to him. He don't like it.
Ain't that bad.
I'm just saying. But that's what I'm saying. Like that's what my mind goes. Like this dude's out of control. You know what I mean? Like you can't be with him 24/7, and you know what I mean. Like it's. And even if you are, like you said, if he might keep it tucked under the bench. You know what I'm saying? And the referee calls something.
All right. So check this out. You had to pick one.
Yep.
Would you pick a John Morant type player, or would you pick someone from the kid from Alabama, Miller? You had to pick one. Which would you go with? Based off
they're both. I mean, obviously the kid Miller, he just went and got it. You know what I'm saying? Which was a poor decision, but at least I would feel like what he did was more of a okay, like you said, other dude might have been the big homie, and he felt like, yo, that's my man, and he's scared, and so I'm gonna just go bring it to him. I'm not gonna do anything. But there is a narrative out there saying that he might have blocked. Brandon Miller might have used his card to block the people from getting away. So there's a little bit different stories coming out, but I don't know. But we don't know all of that. But let's just say that he's just brought it, right, which is a bad decision. So maybe with that you could say, okay, he learned his lesson. Like, do you see how close what you did? Do you see how close you came to really ruining your life? And you would hope that maybe, he got scared from that. Like, oh man, that was a big mistake. I never should have done it. I get it. And you hope that it's a learning experience, and maybe he's shown that he can, grow and make better decisions going further, as opposed to someone like Ja, who to me.
What if he says the same thing to you? It's like, Coach, listen, I messed up. I know I made some bad decisions in the past. I know this is my last shot. Mm-hmm. I believe in you in the program. Mm-hmm. I want you to give me a shot.
I gotta be able to go to sleep at night. If whatever, I don't know.
The same thing though. You want to give him a shot?
I hear everything you're saying, man. It's just, it's scary. It, like I said, like you see my man, and again, they're not really bringing the hammer down on my man at Alabama, but you can see him in the press conferences. He be sweating when they asking him the question. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, what do you say? What's that?
He's at Alabama. Just ain't nothing happening to him.
But I'm saying
Alabama ain't nothing.
Right. Well,
nothing happened to him.
You talking about the coach?
The player.
Player, right? Yeah, the player. But I'm saying, but you also, homie, you had somebody on your team killed. Forget about Brandon. Let's not forget about Brandon Miller, but you had somebody on your team kill somebody.
Yeah, I ain't like how they threw him under the bus.
That's what, like, you had somebody. He killed somebody. He shot somebody. Somebody on your team. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's even before we even get to Brandon Miller and how you're handling that situation. That's on you. You're the coach. You recruited that kid. He's in your program. He killed somebody.
Is that fair? Is that fair? If someone came to you and be like, "Yo, your player did that's on you," is that a fair statement?
No, but that's the job.
No. But is that a fair statement? That's not.
You can't. It's not fair. It's not fair, but it's the job. Everything that happens in that program is on you. When you're a college coach, when you're an NBA coach, no, it's not on you. When you're a college coach, everything that happens in your
program. So if your former player does some shit like that, that's on you? That's a reflection of you?
Of course. If I'm the leader, yeah. Now, is it my fault? Did I cause it to happen? No, but this is how I look at, and this may sound, altruist, whatever you want to call it. You got to take the good with the bad. I believe that in life. You can't say, well, we won these games because of me. We got this recruit that is an All-American because of me. We did X, Y. We're in the top 25. We're a top 5 program because of me. But then when something goes wrong, oh no, that's not me. That to me, that's a cop out. You're not. That's not me.
But that's two different things, though. You talking
it's
about?
Not. But no, it's not. It's
about human decision, human behavior. How is that you married? If your wife go out and do some shit, that's a reflection of you.
That's a different dynamic. That's a different dynamic. But no, okay, hold it. That's a different dynamic because she's an adult, and if one of my kids does something, that is a reflection on me.
So that means if one of your kids does some shit like that, that means you're a bad parent?
No, but I'm not saying he's a bad coach or he's responsible for doing what. But
how's that a reflection of you if you don't have no control?
I don't know if it's. it's not. I understand the word that you're using, reflection. I'm not saying that Nate Oates enables or causes his players to go out and kill somebody. I'm not going there. I'm just saying ultimately whatever happens in your program, to me, I don't like when people you can't take just the good. When you're the leader and you're in charge, when the good happens, you get credit. When something bad happens, you got to take not the blame necessarily, but it's your program.
Matt, if I try to run a clean program, work with my kids. If I'm sleeping if I go to bed tonight, wake up at 8 a.m. If one of my players go out at 3:15 a.m. and murder someone, how am I held responsible for that?
It's not you didn't.
That's not a reflection of me or the program. That's his decision to make. That's not on me.
But then how do you? So then how do you jive it when if your kid wakes up at 2:00 in the morning and donates clothes to the homeless or works to the soup kitchen?
That's a reflection of what type of kid he is.
Sure, but if you have footage of that, you're gonna put that up on your social media, though, right?
Probably.
You're gonna promote it, right? Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. You promote it and you not necessarily take credit, say, yeah, I'm the reason why this kid woke up and do that. It's not that, but when somebody says to you, hey man, you got great kids in your program. Wow, you recruited some quality guys. Look at what this kid did. He got up and you're not gonna say, oh no. You're gonna say, yeah, he's a good
kid he is.
Yeah, he's a great kid. Yeah, we're proud to have him in the program. Okay, yeah, that's what you're gonna do. If somebody from the media calls you and says, hey, can I talk to you about this kid that did this great thing? You're going to say yes. And you're going to talk about it. Yes, he's a great representative of the university, of our program. That's the type of kids we want. That's the type of kids we have. You're going to sell it to parents when you're recruiting. Look at these type of kids I have in my program. You're going to do all of that. But then when something goes wrong, oh, no, that ain't me.
So let me ask you.
I don't like that. What's that?
How would you spend that?
I would, well, see again. Now this is me.
Shit like that. How would you spend that?
I listen. I don't have a good answer for that. I'll be honest with you because I would be so messed up in the head. I'm saying I don't have a good answer.
How would you spend that, Mac?
I don't know. How could you spin it? He killed somebody. How do you spin that?
How would you know? I'm asking you. You got
that's what I'm saying, Ty. I don't have a good answer for that because I really don't know. How do you spin a murder? How do you spin a murder? Well, maybe not a murder, self-defense, whatever you want to call it. Okay. But I'm just saying, how do you spin that?
Would you create space between you and him in the program?
In a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. Yo, man. You know what I mean? Like,
what would you say? What would you say?
You got to go, homie.
No. What would you tell the media, though?
Oh, I would tell the media, yeah, he's no longer a part of this program. Quick, fast, in a hurry. Like, yo, no, nope. Self-defense or not. Because again, it goes to what are you doing and who are you hanging out with? What are you doing, man? Where are you going? Go to a frat party. Go, you know what I'm saying? Go do that. Like, go, you know what I'm saying? Like, go to a regular a sorority party. Go to a sorority. Again, not stereotypical, but go to the sorority party. I'm 99.9% sure there are no guns there. Go there. Go hang out.
Yeah, but it's not that you can go wherever you want to go. But if that's in you, if that's your go-to to solve the problem, that's what you're going to go to. It don't matter what type of party. We could beef in 7-Eleven. We could beef in Cracker Barrel. Wherever we go, that's going to be your go-to because that's how you solve the problem.
I hear you. Yeah, I guess.
Now, you're not even thinking like, hold up, I'm asking the top 5 pick to go get me a gun.
That's and honestly, again, I could get on my soapbox and get on my, my utopian, thing of how things are going to go. But we could go on this all night. I did want to address one thing. So the NBA. So we're talking about Ja, and this we were talking about Ja, and he's a superstar in the league, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the dunk contest was a couple of weeks ago, and Mac McClung, who was he was, he was a phenom in high school. Had a lot of viral clips of him dunking and stuff like that. He was a good high school player. He started his career at Georgetown, and then he transferred to, I can't remember where he transferred to. Texas Tech, yes. Texas Tech. Transferred to Texas Tech. Get some, G League stuff, bouncing around, get some calls up. I think he was with the Lakers for a little while, maybe. And then he
Warriors.
Right, Golden State. And then he got called up. Now, I don't know if the Sixers called him up for the dunk contest just to make it clean, but he gets called up, goes to the NBA dunk contest, and he wins it. And so it's been a phenomenon for a little while now that the top players have not participated lately in the NBA slam dunk contest. And it's been a little bit of a thing. We can talk about the whys and all of that, but so I want to get your opinion, but I want to read a quote that I actually saw from Stephen A. Smith. And he said, he was talking about LeBron. And he was like, LeBron's, been a great, ambassador for the league, family man, all-time leading scorer, great career, all of that. But he said, I'll read you the quote. It says, but there is one blemish that should be on LeBron James' career. He has ruined the slam dunk contest. He is personally responsible. He went on to say that guys like Julius Erving, Michael Jordan, Dominique Wilkins, Kobe Bryant, Vince Carter, all participated in at least one slam dunk contest during their Hall of Fame careers. LeBron, so he goes on to quote, LeBron ignored that obligation. He said, no, I'm not doing it. Since he made that decision, we've seen year after year after year, less and less stars participating in the slam dunk contest. It's because of him that others felt it was okay to follow that trend. And that's why the slam dunk contest is not what it used to be. So do you agree with that statement that he is at least maybe partly responsible, fully, halfway, whatever?
No.
Okay. So you don't agree with that. What is the reason?
I don't know. I don't know if they think they're entitled, or I think back in the days it was a big thing that everyone got together. We're gonna, Michael Jordan, Dominique, like that was a hype. I don't know why they don't. Let me say this. I read somewhere that Ja Morant said that he'll participate if he get 1 billion likes. I was like, what? Like, I don't understand. Like, it's more like back, but I don't know if it's how it's promoted, but back then the dunk contest was like huge.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't nothing like you could play, but like it was like, yo, you get in a dunk contest, all the stars show what they can do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they don't. I think it's a generation, man.
So I actually asked my players this last week, and I just asked this question, and they said that maybe part of it is the fact because of social media and the videos and the viral and all that stuff like that. Well, they said two things. They said, number one, because the dunk contest has been going on for so long now, they feel like what has been done that you haven't seen yet. You know what I mean? Like, where could it go from this point? Because we've seen some crazy dunks. And they also said there's that part of it. And also the mystique of these guys being able to dunk and do these crazy things is lessened because of social media and these viral videos where you just have, people just at 24-hour fitness or different parts of the world or whatever. And, they'll do a crazy dunk in a park or whatever, and it goes viral. So the mystique of you seeing like an incredible dunk isn't the same that the only way you were really going to see that before would be a Michael Jordan or a Dominique Wilkins at the dunk contest. So it's not the same level of excitement around dunks because, number one, what else is anybody going to do at this point that hasn't been done? And then because you see the dunks on social media all the time, the impact isn't the same. Do you think maybe that is part of it?
I think they're just afraid that they don't have the creativity to win. They just afraid. They don't want to tarnish their
legacy.
You know what I'm saying? Because homeboy, he was doing shit like people never really done before.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So if you confident in your skills, then it's like whatever. But I don't think nobody, and maybe I don't know if it's this generation, but they don't want to lose. They don't want to look bad. They don't want to try. They just want to keep what they got and don't risk it. You know what I'm saying?
But does that go back to what Stephen A was saying? It's almost like, how people talk about like, because Jay-Z, the way he like approached hip hop, that the whole not writing thing and all of that. Like he made it cool to not,
LeBron is not a dunker. He's a dunker, but he's not like a Vince Carter. He's not
right. I get that. But if he is he the cultural forebearer that if the young guys say, well, LeBron did it, so you know what, I'll do it. But if LeBron says, nah, it's not cool to do the dunk contest, then that makes it less.
Because he's a dunker, but he's not like really a dunker like that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, but you can say the same thing about Kobe. People didn't look at Kobe like, oh, Kobe's like this amazing in-game dunker, but then he pulled some he went in his bag and won. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Because like if Ja Morant went into the dunk contest and he lost, how damaging would that be for him?
I don't know.
Think about it. How damaging would that be? He's a high flyer, all this shit highlight. How damaging would that be if he lost?
But does it damage you though? In
their mind, like, yo, you ain't, you got all these highlights on Sports Center, blah blah blah. You can't win a dunk contest.
But is that the case though? Like, does it not winning the dunk contest diminish you? Does not winning the 3-point shot contest diminish? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I get that. Huh?
If that's who you are at this age, yeah.
I'm trying to think of people who were in the dunk contest and didn't win if it impacted their legacy.
Yeah, but they didn't win. Let's look at Dominique and Jordan.
Right.
Dominique got jerked a couple times, right? But if you come in third, fourth, fifth place, you coming in third, fourth, fifth place to Dominique and Jordan. If you do that now, who you coming in third, fourth, fifth? You coming to a G League player?
Okay, but if you go to the flip side of that argument, if Ja Morant and LeBron and whoever else are the high, you know what I mean? Like if all those guys are in it and then you lose, does it diminish you?
Everybody can't be on that Summer Jam screen, man. I'm just keeping it real. You out there and you got to complete dunks. You know how much pressure that is?
It is. I'm not.
You got to be creative, and you got to complete the dunk.
Like I was watching some of the All-Star stuff. Dwayne Wade lost a 3-point shooting contest to his to the owner of the team. The owner of the team. Now he's retired. You know what I'm saying? He's retired, but do people look at Dwayne Wade differently? Like, oh, you can't shoot. You lost to the owner of.
That should never happen.
It should never happen. But does that diminish Dwayne Wade? Now again,
I was watching an old joint where Draymond Green almost lost to Kevin Hart.
Right. Okay.
Imagine if he would have lost to Kevin Hart.
I think it would have been funny, but does it change? Does it change? I'm just saying it's funny.
Kevin Hart. And Kevin Hart was just like, bang, he was knocking them shits down.
Yeah, like do you ever see the clip of like I think it was Kevin Hart was playing, he was messing around with Kyle Lowry and Kyle Lowry like tried to go to the hole and Kevin Hart like blocked him. It was something like I don't know if you ever saw it, but it was like a Philly thing or whatever. Kyle Lowry tried to make a move and like Kevin Hart tied him up. Crazy, okay. Kyle Lowry's still an all-star. He still would have, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's a little funny little moment, but at the end of the day, does it diminish Kyle Lowry? I don't see that, but now just we got to go because we're over time, but I just want to point this out. My man Ak, who always got my back, best man at my wedding, he pointed out, he said Jason Williams from the New Jersey Nets. So now, like I said, I made the case about, if Ja was waving that gun around and it hit the 17-year-old, would he be out the league? They got Jason Williams out the league. Now, I know that Jason Williams is not Ja Morant.
It's a different level, man.
Different level. I get that. But
different level. You can't even say it. Different level.
Okay. All right.
That could be our next topic. Next week.
Which is what?
It could be something with high-level players and the crimes that they allowed to get away with.
What they can get away with versus mid-tier and low
tier. Levels. It should be levels.
The levels of infractions and the level of players. How that job's out. Okay. All right, we could table that. All right. Well, we're a little over time, man, but this was great. I think we was a little excited because we were off for a little bit. So, we went a little over time. So we apologize to everybody, but we appreciate y'all sticking with us and rocking with us. Appreciate everybody in the comments that came through and supported us. Please continue to support the show, support the network. And, from my main man, Tyler, this is Coach Matt signing off on another episode of Live by the 3 Sports Podcast. And we'll catch y'all next week. Have a good weekend. Peace.
All right, y'all.